watched 17 movies this holiday season. Well, actually, scratch that. I watched 16 movies and one of them I could not finish. And I'm gonna rapid fire through them really quickly in this Ketchup review, covering all the movies I saw in December and January. First up is Flow. If you watched my best of the year list, you know exactly what I thought of that movie. I really liked that. I thought it was gorgeous. It was really well made. It won Best Animated Feature at the Golden Globes, which was a very pleasant surprise. It was nice to see something not done by a major studio winning an award like that. It was cool. Next up is Y2K. This is the one with all the teenagers having to survive a robot apocalypse at the turn of the millennium. This one was alright. The cast was solid. There were some funny moments. It's a fun premise, but it was ultimately just kind of bland and forgettable. Then we have Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim. This is the Lord of the Rings prequel anime. This one was kind of disappointing, I'm not gonna lie. It's a cool idea and a cool concept, but like, it just wasn't executed super well. It felt very detached from Lord of the Rings. It wasn't very interesting. The animation at times looked really bad. Yeah, overall just kind of disappointing. This one isn't a movie, this is a mini-series. This is Inside Out Dream Productions. This one was cute. It was fun. It was 4 episodes long. It had some good gags and some good humor and, you know, a nice message. And we have Carry On, a new Netflix movie with Taron Egerton. This one was a lot of fun as well. It was a very 90s throwback. A lot of people comparing it to Die Hard. It even takes place on Christmas. I thought it was fun. It didn't take itself too seriously. I thought the villain, played by Jason Bateman, was pretty cool and pretty chilling. Definitely worth checking out. Then we have The Muppets Christmas Carol. I gotta thank my fiance Anne for showing me this because I had never seen it before, and holy shit, this was amazing. Obviously I know the story of A Christmas Carol, but I haven't seen many adaptations of it, so I don't really have anything to compare it to as to like how this did versus others. But honestly, for me, this one is kind of hard to beat. I think it manages to incorporate sort of the Muppet sort of tongue-in-cheek sense of humor, but when it needs to get super dark and super sad and super serious, it doesn't give you whiplash. It feels really like natural and well handled. And Michael Caine as Scrooge just, I mean, holy shit. Like, you can tell that he did not go into this with the mindset of, I'm going to do a Muppet movie. He went into this with the mindset of, I'm an actor and I'm going to take this as seriously as humanly possible. And it really works. Honestly, I just feel bad about not watching this sooner, so yeah, definitely recommend this one. Then we have The Fire Inside, the Clarissa Shields biopic. I really liked this one. It doesn't do anything groundbreaking as far as like sports biopics go. It works for what it's trying to do. We saw this with a packed crowd and it was a pretty interesting and kind of fun experience. There's a scene where a character holds up a pregnancy test and the entire audience like gasped, and then it cuts to another character and reveals that she's the one who's actually pregnant, and everyone was like, oh, thank God. Like, moments like that were pretty funny. I also like how it doesn't do the traditional, like, oh, she won the Olympic challenge thing, and that's where the movie ends. They actually make a point to show that, you know, her story didn't have that happy ending that a lot of sports movies usually end on. There's still that struggle afterwards where she's trying to pay rent and get sponsorships and fight for equal pay for like female fighters, and I thought that was a really cool and very necessary inclusion. This might anger some people. We have Nosferatu, the new Robert Eggers movie. I liked this. I didn't love it. I thought I was gonna like it more than I ended up doing. It definitely looks really great, like all of his movies do, and the performances are solid across the board. But I don't know, I just didn't really get into it. I thought it was kind of like slow and dragging in parts. There were moments where it was creepy and chilling and very effectively so, but I don't know, for a lot of it, I was just kind of sat there waiting for something to happen. Then we have Baby Girl. I found it really funny that I saw this back to back with A Complete Unknown, and this is the only movie of the two where they didn't show the Nicole Kidman AMC intro. I thought that was really funny. And the movie itself is pretty wild. I mean, if you've seen the trailer, you know it's this older, like, female CEO who starts a relationship with a younger intern, and it's kind of like a sort of 50 Shades of Grey dynamic where like he's telling her what to do and everything like that. It gets kind of weird and kind of funny. I don't know, I thought it was alright. I thought the performances were pretty solid. I don't know, I had a good time with it. And speaking of, next up is A Complete Unknown, the Timothy Chalamet, Bob Dylan biopic. This one was alright. This one I also saw in a packed crowd, and it was half Timothy Chalamet stands and half old heads who are fans of Bob Dylan when they were younger. For the most part, it just kind of followed the typical like music biopic formula, and in that regard, it was perfectly fine. I thought the performances were great, the music was great. I think Timothée Chalamet is definitely better as when he does the Bob Dylan voice. He sounds better when he's singing than when he's just talking, because he's trying to do that nasally talking through your teeth voice, and it sounds awkward when he's not like singing. But other than that, I thought it was fine. Next up is Nickel Boys. This one was really good and very, very harrowing to watch. It's very much like Till in that it's not a very feel-good movie, and it will leave you kind of just sort of stun-locked when you're leaving it, but it's also very important and very powerful. I thought the performances across the board were great. I liked how it was shot, where it's showing it from both the boys' perspectives. One thing that did kind of catch me off guard was at the end of the movie when I was leaving the theater and I overheard this older white guy asking one of the theater attendants if there were any post-credit scenes. I was like, what the fuck kind of movie do you think you're at, man? But yeah, this was really good. And next up we have Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul. This is the new Netflix movie. And this is Wallace and Gromit. There's not much you can say about it. It's very cute, very charming, very funny. The animation is great. And yeah, it's just great to see Aardman doing another movie again. Next up, oh god, Amelia Perez. This is the new Netflix movie with Zoe Saldana and Selena Gomez, and I wasn't really sure what to think going into this movie. I knew that it was getting a lot of awards buzz, I knew that it was getting kind of like mixed reception, but I wanted to go into it with an open mind, especially because I wanted to catch up on all the awards contenders. I got about 45 minutes in and I turned it off. I could not. This movie was so horrible. Like, setting aside all of the like cultural and like political things that it gets wrong about like Mexican culture and the trans community, this movie is just so fucking obnoxious and terrible. The songs are all terrible. The staging throughout all those sequences are just awful. The look of the movie in general is just really like terrible looking. The acting is some of the worst I've seen. The dialogue is absolutely painful. If I had seen this movie like a month ago, it would have made my top 10 worst list. Like, this was so fucking horrible, and the fact that it's getting passed around for so many awards is kind of insulting. This is gonna be like that Bradley Cooper movie Maestro, where the fact that it's getting nominated is already insulting. If it wins anything, I'm gonna be fucking livid. Anyway, moving on, we have Better Man. This is the Robbie Williams biopic where he is a CGI monkey. And honestly, it was better than I thought it would be. I think a lot of the discourse surrounding it is just a lot of Americans saying that they have no clue who Robbie Williams is. And to be fair, I was in the same boat. I knew of him, but I didn't really know his story or his music all that well. I just went in because it looked insane. And yeah, once you get past the initial sort of like shock of just, oh, he's a monkey for some reason, the movie is just fine. Musical sequences are well done, it's well directed, it's done by the guy that did Greatest Showman, so that stuff is gonna look really good. Next up is The Brutalist. This is the near 4-hour epic about this architect played by Adrian Brody, who it goes through his entire life after escaping the war, and he's hired by this rich family to build this gigantic monument, and it's honestly a massive feat, to be sure. Like, it's pretty fucking beautiful. For it to have only cost $10 million to make, they made really good use of that budget. It looks fantastic. It's really well paced for being something that, like I said, is almost 4 hours. The acting across the board is great. Adrian Brody is spectacular in this. I can definitely see why this is the current like awards darling, and it absolutely deserves it. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. Then we have September 5th. This is the one about the Munich Olympics and the broadcasters who are following a hostage situation that's going on, and this one was really good. I did feel kind of bad because we saw it late at night and I was kind of nodding off during watching it. Not because I wasn't interested, far from it. I was just really fucking tired. Then we have The Wolfman. This is the newest movie directed by Leigh Whannell. I liked it. I didn't love it. I was kind of disappointed, I'm not gonna lie. I thought the performances were really solid. I thought it had some nice themes, but there were parts of it that just felt kind of incomplete. The effects were, they were all right, and it felt like it went by like super quickly, and that, like I said, there were parts missing, and we didn't really get to feel sort of that like tension that his other two movies sort of did a good job building. Like I said, it wasn't terrible, but it was just kind of disappointing. But anyway, that is all the movies that I watched in December and January. Let me know in the comments what you've been watching the last couple months. Let me know what you thought of this new style of ketchup review. I'm just trying something different. I've got more videos coming soon, but until then, be sure to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell so you can stay up to date on when I'm posting. Follow me on my social media, subscribe to my main channel. Everything you need to know will be in the description. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.